Some head coaches have fallen off the Philadelphia Eagles board as their head coaching search continues. So what I want to talk about today is, in my opinion, a very polarizing candidate as the deuce is loose. Find out why coming up next.
I think his love for the game goes unmatched compared to any coach has ever coached me, any coach I ever met. Like he literally plays through us.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Eagles News Now podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild, live from Bar 4133. No, I can't start off like that. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Eagles News Now podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild from Bar 4133, and this episode definitely needs some bass and excitement as the Eagles head coaching search continues. Now, yesterday, I told everybody via live stream that Robert Saleh had been hired as the New York Jets head coach. Now, this is a guy that I wouldn't have minded here in Philadelphia. Loved his emotion, loved his energy. He takes all that to New York with really good cap space and a number 2 pick in the NFL draft. Also, Urban Meyer hired as a Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. He really wasn't linked anywhere but Jacksonville. And then today, Arthur Smith, who interviewed here for the Eagles head coaching job, gets hired as the Atlanta Falcons head coach. I want to know parts of Arthur Smith. The guy, look, he turned around Ryan Tannehill, but also, again, you can't discredit having a guy like Derrick Henry on your offense. Also, look, I'm big on the eye test, and the guy just doesn't look like a head coach. I mean, and look, I know it's silly as that sounds. It's my opinion. That's what we do here at Bar 4133. But today I want to talk about what I think is the most exciting candidate for the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot might disagree with me. I think Duce Staley, who is interviewing today in Florida with Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, is a very exciting candidate to be Eagles head coach. And look, I was very mum on Duce when the thought first came around as him being head coach. But the more I look into it, the more I see tweets from players, the more you really dig into Duce Staley. It's definitely something to be excited about, especially, and here's my biggest thing, Duce comes in already demanding respect from the players, already given respect from the players that he has coached before. As you saw, Malcolm Jenkins, who isn't even an Eagle anymore and is getting ready for a playoff game, took time out to say some really cool things about Duce. As you heard earlier, Miles Sanders had some awesome things to say about Duce Staley. And then Rodney McLeod, who might not even be an Eagle next year, also wanted Duce Staley to be the head coach. And it's universal. Like Corey Clement, there's so many different players that really are looking forward to Duce Staley getting a shot here as Eagles head coach. Now, the one thing that I thought about, and I said this yesterday, I don't understand why he isn't being interviewed anywhere else. Is it just that he's not a hot name, not that sexy name, sorry, Duce, that is like a Ryan Dable or, an Eric Bieniemy. I'm not sure about that. But I think that Duce Staley, and again, what do we know as fans? We've never really sat in a meeting room with Duce or seen any plans of how he is to coach his team. But I think that he would be an excellent head coach. Again, it also brings up some exciting aspects of, it's not like you're having, so he's not going to call plays. He's not going to call defensive plays. He's not going to call offensive plays. It gives you another exciting aspect of you can still have that up-and-coming offensive mind as a coordinator, and maybe a veteran, possible former head coach as your defensive coordinator. I'm just thinking Wade Phillips. He won't come here because the scheme's different, but I'm just saying, I'm using him, easy for me to say, him as an example, and pair him with Duce Staley, and now you have a trifecta of exciting new aspects instead of maybe going out, getting that hot offensive coordinator. Now he's going to call the plays, and really whatever offensive staff he hires are just going to be running meetings. Again, I think this is also why Duce Staley is an attractive candidate for the Eagles. A little bit of history on Duce, as everybody knows, he's basically spent 23 years with the Philadelphia Eagles, whether as a player or a coach. He was drafted in 1997 in the 3rd round by the Eagles. One of my favorite Eagles ever. I have an autographed football here at Bar 4133 that Duce Staley signed. One of my memories as as a youth, because I wasn't exactly a kid, but I was an adult either, going to Eagles games is, if anybody remembers at Veterans Stadium, after the games, you could wait around back for the players to come out. And mostly you're going to get backup players or special teams players. They'd come back to get to their vehicles, and they'd sign footballs or autographs. You never really got any of the starters or the big money guys. And this is, I want to say, 2000, maybe 2001. And we're sitting back there waiting for guys to come out. And this big limo rolls up, and window rolls down, and it's Duce Staley. He's got two big-ass diamonds in his ears. And he steps out and signs as many autographs as he could. I thought that was really cool of him to do that. It would just seem like a really down-to-earth guy. Now, another thing here is Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz is going to stay on this team, when he was most successful, it was when he had a coach that wasn't going to put up with his shit, and that was John DeFilippo. Now, Frank Reich kind of catered to him, as well as Doug Peterson. They kind of coddled him a little bit. According to sources, John DeFilippo didn't put up with any of that. It was pretty hard on Carson. And, of course, that was 2017. Carson had his best year as an Eagle. You look at Duce Staley, isn't going to take any shit from him either. And I think that Carson needs a coach like that. So if he stays on this team, and if it's not Jalen Hurts, again, another positive of having Duce Staley. Now, he was here as a coach for Andy Reid, a quality control coach for special teams in 2011. Has survived everything after that. Chip Kelly promoted him to running back coach because that makes sense. And then when Doug Peterson came, who was Duce Staley's teammate, he kept him on the staff. And last year he was assistant head coach. To me, he interviewed for offensive coordinator. He interviewed for head coach in 2016, and then in 18 and 20, interviewed for offensive coordinator. Didn't get either one, so they gave him the assistant head coach title. To me, that's like Michael Scott giving Dwight Schrute the assistant to the assistant regional manager title. It was something just to, I don't know, I make him feel better. I'm not sure. Make him not want to leave. But I think Duce is definitely better than that, and he probably would have been a great offensive coordinator, but wasn't given that opportunity. Now, with that being said, it kind of makes me feel like they won't hire him as head coach if they weren't willing to give him these other spots. Such a big jump. I don't know if it's likely. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, because, again, I would love to see this guy as our head coach. There are some other candidates, too, that I'm really high on. I like Joe Brady as well, and this is your Sean McVay of 2021, possibly. But for me, here to spill the beans, it's Duce Staley or Joe Brady for me right now. I think Lincoln Riley is not going to touch Philadelphia. I think he's going to stay in Oklahoma. So I think he's off the board. And the other guys, Brian Dable, I don't get much out of him. Eric Bieniemy, I don't think he's going to come here anyway. And I don't know if we want another Kansas City Andy Reid system. I think it's just going to be the same offense, same stuff. So, and again, just the unexpected of Duce Staley and the excitement that he would bring to a city that he's been in and that he knows, and that people all over the place say he's going to be a good coach. The only caveat, the only thing that I'm just not sure of is why he hasn't gotten any attention anywhere else. Are we letting our love for him as the player cloud our judgment? Or at least me. Am I letting myself my judgment be clouded by that? But I don't know, guys. But so that's basically it, man. Duce Staley interviewed today. We'll see what happens after that. I feel like the Eagles are going to drag this out. And the one thing that I hope doesn't happen is if Duce gets a head coaching job, I hope that label of, the Eagles couldn't get anybody else to come here doesn't sit on Duce, because he definitely deserves better than that. So that's all I got for you guys today. More content coming, as this has already been a crazy offseason, and we got some playoff games. I'm thinking about maybe doing a little video talking about how the playoffs are shaping up. Not sure about that. Obviously depends on time. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds, go Duce Staley. The deuce is loose. And I'll see you guys later. So who do you think should be the Eagles head coach? No, you can't be. You cannot come on here. You can't be a co-host.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
Yeah, right. I need
Eagle Nation to stand.